In my work as a porn addiction recovery coach, I've heard a lot of stories. Pretty much everything you can imagine and more on top of that. One common thread I see all the time is distress about the types of sexual content the men I work with are getting off to. The most common of these are trans, femdom, cuckold, and sissification. I won't go into too much detail about these because for today it doesn't really matter. But these genres tend to create shame because men doubt their sexual orientation. They start losing their sense of masculinity and pride in themselves. Many of them are not at peace with these desires and they ask me, can I be rid of these? And I tell them, it depends. For our purposes, there are two main kinds of sexual desire. The first is either rooted in an early childhood experience or has an unknown origin. It's seemingly innate and makes up a part of your identity. This includes your sexual orientation, but can also include paraphilias, which are sexual desires considered to be outside the norm, whatever that means. It can include things like sadomasochism, dominance and submission, a body part fetish, cuckoldry, desire for non-consent, etc. Whatever the desire, if it has been with you since your sexual awakening or near to that time, it probably always will be. I'm sorry if that's disappointing to you, if you want to be rid of that, but everything I've experienced and seen in my clients and researched tells me that is the case. But that does not mean that your potentially unwanted desire has to dominate your sex life or that you can never enjoy more vanilla sex. Most people with these innate desires, fetishes, kinks, whatever you want to call them, end up deepening and narrowing that desire over years of consistent internet porn use. And someone with a natural inclination and attraction to more powerful women who may initially have fantasized about women who were dominant and knew what they want and weren't afraid to tell you what to do in a sexual context. Well, after years of wading through femdom porn online, now they're only fantasizing about and getting off to extreme pegging, degradation, water sports, stuff like that. Whereas initially, their desire was much more wholesome and innocent. By stopping your porn use and allowing your brain to return to a healthier, more sensitive state, you can get closer back to this more innocent core of what your innate sexual desires actually are. Consider this. If you're a healthy man, you should be able to masturbate without any visuals at all, not looking at a screen or Playboy or anything, not even fantasizing about anything sexual, just staring at a wall and enjoying the physical sensations of sexual self-touch. You should be able to achieve an erection, keep that erection, and reach climax. If you cannot do this, that is a sign that you have lost sensitivity, neurological sensitivity, and maybe physical sensitivity as well, from your years of consistent masturbation to pornography use, pushing your sexual response system into the red line over and over and over again with that unlimited stream of novelty that comes from the internet. If you can do this, then there's no reason that you should not be able to enjoy vanilla intercourse and sexual contact without involving your fetish. If you can get hard and orgasm staring at a wall, there's no reason that you can't do the same in bed with someone you're attracted to. And even if you have a very specific fetish that you're not playing into or leaning into during that sexual contact, you likely find features about someone attractive that have nothing to do with your fetish. It could be their hair, their smile, their voice, their curves, whatever it is. If you look at an array of people, you probably find certain people among those more attractive than others. And if you can find that person that you're attracted to and get into bed with them and build, of course, a trusting relationship and rewire with them to the point where you're comfortable and you're able to relax enough to enjoy your sexual energy, you should be able to get to that point where you can keep an erection and reach orgasm and enjoy the experience just with vanilla sexual contact. There is also the option to explore your kink with your partner. Most kinks can be explored healthfully within a relationship. of course, you really want to have excellent communication with your partner about all things, but especially about this. You want to make sure you're on the same page, you're both excited to explore whatever it is you agree on exploring. But if you can do that, most people can involve their fetish to some degree in their relationship. This is of course easier after you've quit porn and resensitized your brain so you're not as fixated on the most extreme end of that fetish or kink. But it is possible in most cases. I do caution that you should try to keep this as a side dish in your relationship. If you involve it in every intimate encounter, it can become something that you're chasing more and more of, and it starts to escalate, this time in real life instead of online. And it can crowd out the more vanilla intimacy in your relationship, which should be the main course, keeping any kink or fetish related stuff as a side dish. The second type of sexual desire is porn induced. You probably already know about how, as people use internet porn throughout years, they go deeper and deeper and escalate into genres and types of content that they never had interest in to begin with. They lose interest in the more simple, innocent desires and images that they initially sought out, and they chase their tail around the darker corners of the internet. Many either continually seeking novelty and going from one genre to the next, always seeking out some new thrill, or some other people will fixate on one or two things and lose interest in everything else and just go deep into those interests. Either way, these are characteristic of a problematic porn user. These patterns I see again and again and again in people that I work with. And if you don't already know all about this, then you should read my book. You can get the PDF for free delivered to your inbox. Just go down below in the description and you'll find the link. The good news for porn-induced desires like this that only really came about after many months or many years of using porn is that once someone stops their use of porn and stops any sexual fantasies related to those escalated interests, they do fade into the background as one's sensitivity returns and their brain returns to a more healthy, porn-free state. And yes, for at least some of those desires can disappear entirely and even be replaced by disgust. It's similar to people you've maybe known who have stopped using cigarettes or tobacco. Some of them, they're always tempted by the smell of tobacco. Someone's smoking around them and they're like, oh, the good old days, I wish I could have a cigarette. But others are like, oh, get that vile stuff away from me. I used to be addicted to it, but now I can't stand the smell. And it's similar in this area. Someone who's stopped using porn might entirely lose interest in those escalated fetishes that they acquired through their porn use. Others, it will still be in the background. Maybe, like I talked about before, it's something they want to incorporate as a side dish in their real relationships, or maybe not. But either way, it shouldn't stop you from enjoying a vanilla, wonderful, satisfying, sexual, intimate relationship. Hey, links for all the things are down below. Free PDF of my book, personal coaching with me, online courses, support group. And if you want to watch something else, you're on YouTube, I've got lots of videos. Trust YouTube to send you to the right place and click right there. See you in the next one. You're still here.